Hello everyone, and this is a visual novel game called Princess Evangile, released on Steam not too long ago. I've never actually played this game, so it'll be the first time for both of us. And here we go, we're going to start. As if you can tell, it's very anime inspired. So, here we go. I don't speak Japanese, but I'm going to assume they just said cold weather rendezvous. Looks like there's Japanese voices in the game. I couldn't find any options for English voices, so I'm assuming it's all Japanese with English subtitles. That's loud. Music's good, right? Let's try that. Okay. Whew. Messiah. That's the main character, it looks like. I breathed into my hands. It was cold. Damn, it's cold out here. The sun had set and it was so cold I had a hard time believing that school was starting soon. Of course, the state of my wallet was probably affecting my perception of the weather, as was my lack of a place to go. Whew. This time, I sighed. The full moon hung heavily over me. My name is Okanogi Messiah, and the cold I felt ran deep. My story started the day before. I'm tired. As usual, I returned to my apartment after work. Even though I was home, there was nothing fun to do there but stare at my father's face. I was back in my hometown for the first time in a year. I thought about rounding up my friends for karaoke, but I don't think I could see them now. Besides, I was broke. The apartment we were in now didn't require a finder's fee or security deposit, but we had to pay the first 3 months' rent in advance. That had wiped out what little savings I had. But running away with nothing but the clothes on our backs definitely saved a lot on moving expenses. However, no matter how much you save, it costs money to start a new life. I had always been poor, but now I was on the verge of being penniless. I've only just started my job and I don't get paid until the 20th of next month. What was I going to do until then? My anxious thoughts swirled around in my head, but I forced myself to stop. It was pointless to focus on the negative. Fine, I'll just go to sleep. Possibly due to my numerous part-time jobs, I hadn't had any time to sleep lately, even though one of my redeeming features has always been taking care of myself enough not to get sick. I like the little sound effects guy here. I mounted the old rusted stairs that felt like they would give way with every step. My old man and I were holed up in a room on the second floor. I'm home. I guess he's not here. Those mob guys must have been back. Dad spent most of his time lazing around the house or fleeing from loan sharks. Of course, I told him to get a job a number of times. When I did, he'd give me this strange little smile and say,
ごめんね、マサヤ君。父さん、箸より重たいものを持ったことがないんだ。
I've never carried anything heavier than my chopsticks before. He was really hopeless. I think the visual presentation so far is pretty good. I like it. I turned on the light. There was a scrap of paper and an envelope on the table. I checked the paper first. It was my old man's handwriting, written on dollar store memo paper.
生活に疲れました。父さんは旅に出ます。
I'm tired of this lifestyle. I'm going on a trip. Of course. I let out a sigh and threw the note in the trash can. I put my hands to my chest. Compared to the sadness I experienced with my mother left, all I could feel now was relief. I glanced around the room and noticed what few belongings my dad had were now gone. My old man really had left me. In any case, he was never contributed to our living expenses. Him being gone wasn't an issue. In fact, it might make things easier. What's this envelope? A farewell gift, huh? But I don't think he's got any money. And if he did, he wouldn't give it to me. There were 2 sheets of paper inside the envelope, as I expected. It wasn't a farewell gift at all. There was something written on them. I wonder why he kept this separate from the memo, though.
ところで、父さんたちが抱えていた借金ですが。
By the way, regarding the money we owe, I'm pretty sure those debts are all yours.
この機会にマサヤ君に一本化しておきました。
I'm taking the opportunity to have them all transferred to your name. Is that legal, I wonder? I don't know. I don't know much about Japanese financial law, so I can't say for certain. Huh?
同封した紙は例の極悪組への証文です。
The documents in some of our contracts with the goons.
マサヤ君が寝ている間に母音を押しておきました。てへ。
I took your thumbprint while you were sleeping. Tee. That's not good.
マサヤ君、よく寝ていたな。きっとバイトの疲れが溜まっているんでしょうね。
Man, my dad's a jerk. You slept so soundly, Masaya-kun. Your jobs must really tire you out.
バイトなんかはそこそこにして体には気をつけるんだぞ。
Try not to work
お
yourself
前
so
の
hard.
父さんより。
You need to take better care of yourself for your father. The next thing I knew, I'd crumpled up the paper in my hand. I looked down at my thumb, so that's where the red stain had come from. That old bastard. 1 year ago, he left the town I lived in all my life. Surugigayoka. Our family life had been falling apart for as long as I can remember. All because my father was dead. My mother had given up on the manga, but didn't want to leave him until she sort of pointed out on him. Then on the evening of my 10th birthday, she brought me to a park and said,
母さんね、お前が10歳になるまでは待とうと思っていたの。
I wanted to wait until you were 10 years old. For what?
離婚を。離婚の意味はわかるわね。
For my divorce. Do you know what divorce means? Yes.
10歳になれば、ある程度の分別も身につくわ。
By now,
母さん、マサヤには、
I really
父
should
さ
learn
んと別れ
Japanese.
ることも仕方のないことだと分かってほしかったの。
By now, you should know a little bit of how the world works. I wanted you to understand that leaving your father was something I had to do.
こんなのは、親の勝手な言い草に過ぎないんでしょうけれど。
I know you think I'm just making excuses, but I shook my head. Even as a child, I understood that my parents couldn't stay together anymore.
そう。ありがとう。マサヤは優しいわね。
I know what arigato means. I see. Thank you. You're a kind boy, Messiah. In the cold light of the street lamps, it seemed she was smiling for the first time.
じゃあマサヤ、友達とお別れする時間もなくて申し訳ないけれど、早速家を出るわよ。
Now, Messiah, I'm sorry you don't have time to say goodbye to your friends, but we have to leave immediately. Right now?
ええ。父さんと話し合いなんかしたら、きっと引き止められるに決まっている。そして、あの人のペースに巻き込まれてしまう。
Well, it's just sadder than I had anticipated. Yes, if I spoke to your father about it, I knew he would stop us. He has a way of bringing others around to his way of thinking.
口のうまさに関しては天才的なんだから。母さんね、もう話し合いもしたくないの。
He has a genius way of talking his way around people. I don't ever want to talk to him again.
離婚届に判をついて置いておくわ。行き先ももちろん知らせない。
I signed the divorce papers and left them there. I'm not going to tell him where we're going.
マサヤが大人になった時は、たまには顔を合わせるのもいいでしょう。けれど、当面はこれっきり。
You can visit him occasionally after you've grown, but for now, we have to make a clean break.
さあ、行きましょう。荷物は少しずつまとめてあったの。あの人が帰らないうちに出ていくわよ。
Now let's go. I've been packing up our luggage slowly over time. We can leave before he gets home. I'm not going.
え?
What? My mother's eyes opened wide as she looked at me. To her, it was as if her son had started speaking an alien language. In my childish way, I explained to her that I felt like I couldn't just abandon my father. Mom would be fine on her own, but Dad wouldn't. That was the conclusion I had reached, which was why I couldn't go along with my mother. Mother was upset and in the end decided to cancel that day's flight. She spent some time trying to convince me, but in the end she was the one who gave up.
わかったわ。
Very well. She left the house alone, promising to stay in contact with me. I could still clearly see the image of my mother walking off into the rainy night. In the end, my mom was right. I looked down at the crumpled paper in my hand. Now that I knew how the world worked, it would have turned out this way whether I had been here or not. What am I going to do about this? My thumbprint was on the loan. The interest rate was 30% every 10 days. Wow. That's crazy. paper like this an illegal merit, but I doubted that logic was going to appease those two. My father's one redeeming feature was what my mother once called his genius way of talking around people. He managed to hold off even the most fearsome of loan sharks with the most laid-back manner possible. Until last year, we had somehow managed to keep up, but the debts got too big and the old man broke under the pressure, and that's when we ran away. Damn, I should have just stayed in Tsurugi Kaioka. I'm butchering that, I know. Back then, a part of me still feels sorry for her. I had also just graduated from my old school. That sense of finality might have had some influence on my actions. I graduated and flooded some unfamiliar land and enrolled in school there. I had started to think that the loan sharks had given up and we made a clean break, but when suddenly the local mafia came calling. How badly in debt did you get? I screamed at him, but my father just gave me that little smile and shook his head.
どうやら債権が渡ったようなんだよ。
The creditors must have transferred the loan to them. My father's skills as a hustler had just made the situation even worse. Unable to get around his skilled way with words, creditors had sold his loan to the mafia. And the force they used to collect their debt was on a completely different scale. My dad wheeled and dealed it. In the end, he only bought us a year. And now we had once again returned to Tsurugi Kaioka. I'm going to call it T-Town. There we go.
やっぱり生まれ故郷が一番だもんね。
It really is good to be home. I was mad about the short notice as usual, but I couldn't say I wasn't glad to be going back home. I had just finished my first year at school, so it was a good time to transfer. The problem was that since he never earned any money, the loan wasn't going to just disappear. This time I didn't even have a chance to catch my breath. A new creditor would come calling soon. That was the goons. Their efforts to collect were much more violent. I had known we couldn't keep up this life much longer, but still. I never thought it would end like this. I was finally ready to abandon my old man. In my heart, he was no longer my father. From now on, I would just call him the bastard. It's a fitting name. But even so, what was he going to do? The passive loan shark or mob guy pushed me. I could point at them at the bastard, and that would be that. On the few occasions they'd gone after me, I could admit that the bastard had still helped me out. But now that he was gone, I had to deal with that on my own this time. Being an average student like him, I knew I couldn't talk my way out of it like he could. What do I do? I sunk down on the worn-out tatami. I had to run away, but to where? I'd already spent my money on rent. I felt like all my strength was leaving my body. Just then, there was a rapid knocking on the door. I felt my own body tense up instantly. Man, that hair, that's crazy. Hey you, we know you're in there. Come on, get out of here. I thought I could pretend I wasn't home, but the door was so thin that they could easily break it down. Hey, you better get out here quick or we'll break this door down. Each kick caused the door to rattle. It really did look like I was about to break inward. I quickly moved to the back room, opened the closed door, and squeezed inside. Closing the door didn't block out much sound, but it cut off most of the light and left me in the dark. I couldn't resist hiding in the closet. I stood up, leaned forward, and located the ceiling board above. I lifted it up and set it aside. Ugh. Restraining my urge to cough from the dust, I pulled myself up above the ceiling. I heard the sound of the door breaking down just as I got the board back into place.
Huh?
Hey. There was a crawl space in the ceiling. Despite being a tight fit, I managed to make it through. From there, I made it outside, climbed down the rain gutter, and ran off at full speed.
Reggie, どうもイルスじゃなかったみたいですね。
The old guy doesn't look like someone I'd want to cross. Hey boss, guess he was just pretending not to be home. Why is the window this color? Okay. Okay. Oh. I thought they were talking about the windows. I'm like, what? Purple windows. Purple windows indicate events taking place from the point of view of the people other than the protagonist. Okay. Fair enough.
押し入れにもいねえや。
No.
あのガキ、金もねえくせにどっかで遊んでいやがるのか?
Not in the closet either. Damn, did that brat go off to play somewhere despite being flat broke?
おう、見ろ、清。
Hey, look, Kiyoshi.
え?
あの野郎の書き置きが残ってる。
That bastard left a note behind.
書き置き?
A note.
あの野郎ももうおしめえだな。
The bastard's done
借
for.
金の方に
He sold
て
his
めえの
kingdom for
ガキを売
drugs.
る。 あいつが売ったのはガキだけじゃねえ。てめえの魂まで売っちまったんだ。
He didn't just sell his kid. He sold his soul.
そうっすね。
Think you're right. That was a weird transition. That was yesterday. Okay, so it makes sense why he's here. Obviously, he's homeless and he has nowhere to go. I spent almost a full day just wandering around the city. I skipped work today just in case. I didn't want to make trouble for them. Calling in absent right after a start. Discontinued, I'd be fired after 3 days if I didn't get my first month's pay. All the work I'd done would have been for nothing. I was starting to miss that rundown apartment. I used to have a ceiling and a floor. I didn't want to sleep on the street. I was tired to begin with and napped on the park bench for a while. But now I was just exhausted. I'd have died in the streets at this rate. The fact that I wasn't joking showed just how grave my situation was. I checked the contents of my wallet again. 100 yen coins, 1. 10 yen coins, 6. That was all. I had no paper bills, nothing of use. I thought about running out to an automatic loan machine, but I knew better than anyone that once you start borrowing money, you'd never stop. I wasn't sure if they lend money to a student anyway. That's right, what would I do about school? How was I supposed to get any learning done in a situation like this? Due to my unique situation, the school agreed to defer my tuition payment, but there was no way I could pay it with the goons after me. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how badly I was trapped. I hung my head in the middle of the street. Somewhere inside me, I knew there was no way out. Although the hunger, cold, and exhaustion made it hard to get my thoughts together. People passed by, shooting me concealed glances, but I looked straight ahead and watched them walk by with the lonely thoughts in my heart. Those people all had homes to return to, warm houses with families waiting. I didn't have anything. The realization that I was all alone in the world suddenly pierced my mind like an arrow. It wasn't like I wanted to live with that freeloading father of mine. But even so, the sudden realization caused my vision to blur. Damn. I rubbed my eyes hard. I wasn't alone. My mother was still out there. My mother had kept in contact with me all this time, but I never tried to see her. She had started a new life in a new place. Perhaps now was the time to impose on family. I heard the sound of footsteps passing by, some moving ahead and some moving behind me. Until yesterday, I'd always had some place to go, some place to come home to. It was all that bastard's fault. Damn, if I ever saw him again, I was going to hit him. Probably more than hit him. It occurred to me that I hadn't eaten anything since dinner the night before. 1 anpan and a can of milk. I should eat something. If I ate something, it might put me in a more positive mood. Although I wasn't sure what I could do to satisfy my stomach with 160 yen. I saw the lights of a convenience store on the corner up ahead and walked towards it. Just then a figure had appeared at my feet. It's a kitty. Oh, it's so cute. A scrawny cat with matted fur stared up at me. Normally I wouldn't give a thought about to a stray cat, but... What's wrong? You're all alone too, huh? I was so lonely I found myself talking to it. The stray cat kept its distance, but it looked up at me with a surprisingly affectionate meow. Yeah, I'm hungry too. I got a fish sausage, which seemed like the most filling option for the money. I thought the cat would have run off and I'd eat my own, but when I came back, I was sitting right where I left it. I guess I don't have much of a choice. When I removed the packaging, the cat smelled it and walked right up to me. I broke it in half, stuffed one piece in my mouth, and offered the other to the cat. The cat quickly devoured it, then looked up hungrily at my mouth. Sorry, it's all gone. When a gust of wind sent a newspaper flying, I suddenly remembered the lottery ticket I bought earlier. He's not gonna win a bunch of money, is he? Come on, man, that'd be such a lame plot. Well, precisely that lottery ticket that bastard had made me buy. I didn't want to waste our money, but he was so adamant on getting rich quick, he ended up forcing it on me. Now, where did I put it? Did I lose it somewhere? I searched around in my pants pockets and found the worn-out ticket. The announcement should be today, and the newspaper probably had those results. I picked it up and walked over to one of the street names. Just then, an unpleasant sight met my eyes. What's going on? Uh-oh, someone's getting assaulted. I was too far away to hear what they were saying, but it was clearly an argument of some kind. The people passing by seemed too afraid to get involved and just sped up as they passed. Let me go. Oh, could be an ass and leave her. Nah, I'll help her. What are you doing? The whole group turned my way. What is with those hats? Like uniformed. It's crazy. Just then the girl escaped their grasp and ran toward me. Please help me. I turned boldly to our blue-suited attackers and hit the girl behind my back. One of them advanced on me, acting as a group representative.
何者です
May I ask who you are? That's not a man. That is a woman. He's got an awfully high-pitched voice. It doesn't matter who I am. What are you doing?
あなたには関係のないことです
This has nothing
さ
to do with you.
あ
Please
その
hand
子
over
をお
the girl.
渡しなさい
Just by saying please, glinting his eye, glinting her eye, quietly imposing presence, told me that these people could just give the goons a run for their money. Just who are these people? Their stances left no openings. Who is this girl, and why were these people after her? I glanced back and found her staring at the blue-suited figures from over my shoulder.
引かないのですか
You will not stand down then?
引かないのですかと聞いている
I said you will not stand down. Right. Couldn't walk away now. Pushing the girl with my body, I gradually began to draw back. But the blue-suited figure didn't miss the gesture. Without a sound, she closed the distance and reached for me. She's fast. She moved so smoothly, she clearly wasn't your standard ruffian. Her hand slipped past me, reaching for the girl's arm instead. They didn't seem to want to use violence, but I reflexively struck out with my hand. Okay, that was a weird sound effect. It met with a surprisingly pillowy softness. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't even get up my apology before my opponent slipped into a stance. This time her fist was aimed directly at my face. I quickly dropped down, the punch just barely missed me, and I could feel it tearing through my air above my head. What? It was a total coincidence that the punch missed me, but the woman seemed to be in shock. The other three had previously been watching began stalking towards us. They seemed to radiate anger from every pore. This isn't good. My presence seemed to have escalated the situation to a new level of hostility. I'm sorry, I really... I held up my hands apologetically, but it was clear that the situation was far beyond saving. One of the suits rushed forward. I tensed up, determined to protect the girl behind me. I barely had any strength from the start. I wasn't prepared for what was coming, and yet the blue-suited figure had just about reached me when she suddenly tripped and lost her balance. The cat has come to save the day. It was the cat from before paying the debt he owed me. When we see the cat, the suit went tumbling, and friends quickly moved to help her up. I felt a tug on my right hand and turned back around. Let's go. Right. Our footsteps rang off into the night. Wait! We started running, zigzagging down the streets until the footsteps of our pursuers died down behind us. Pant, pant, pant. Pant, pant, pant. Maybe it was the hunger, but I quickly ran out of breath. The girl seemed to be having trouble breathing too, so I slowed down and turned to face her. There were so many things I wanted to ask her, but right now both of us needed to catch our breath. Whew, my body wasn't ready to move so much, my head was spinning. Normally it wouldn't be so bad. Jim was actually one of my best subjects. That may be true, but when you're starving in the streets, you probably don't want to exercise so much energy. Whew. She took a deep breath and turned to face me. Thank you, you saved me. The moment I saw her straight on for the first time, it was like something snapped inside my brain. I think he's having an aneurysm. childhood friend, maybe?
ごめんなさい。
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. She seemed to mistake my surprise for something else. She released my hand, her face flushed. That's right, we've been holding hands all this time. I felt my face grow hot. This wasn't the first time I ever held hands with a girl, and besides, she's really beautiful. I'd never seen someone so beautiful, not even on TV. She averted her eyes and she blushed and withdrew a handkerchief from her pocket.
汗かいちゃった。
So sweaty. I could not take my eyes off her. She wiped the sweat from her brow. Even that was beautiful.
お使いになる？
Do you want to use it? Oh, she'd gotten the wrong idea again. Regardless, I found my hand moving to take it. Are you sure?
何が？
Oh, well, I hadn't even taken a bath for the night. I tried to remain calm as I took the pleasant smiling handkerchief from my wipe the sweat from my face.
それにしてもさっきは驚いたわ。
You surprised
あ
me.
なた何かやっていらっしゃるの？
Surprised me earlier. What do you practice about, may I ask? Do I what?
武道とか。あの人の突きをかわしたでしょ？
Martial arts, for instance. You dodged her strike, didn't you? Oh, nothing in particular. I just got lucky.
そう。でもあの人たち専門の訓練を積んでいるし、きっと運動神経に優れていらっしゃるんでしょうね。
I see. Those people are especially trained, so you must have excellent reflexes. From the sound of it, she was very familiar with those people. I asked her about that point, and she responded with a vague affirmation.
まあ、知っているといえば
Do
知
you
っ
owe
てい
them
る
money
わ。
too? Well, I suppose you could say I'm familiar with them. Rather than pushing the matter any further, I felt silent and quickly offered the handkerchief back to her. Thank you. With the handkerchief returned, we had run out of things to talk about. But what was that strange feeling I had earlier? That strange sensation I felt when I got a clear look at her face for the first time. It was like a momentary ripple on the still water of my mind. It disappeared without a trace, but the feeling had definitely been real. Was it just because she's so beautiful? No way. It bothered me, but it wasn't like asking her to do us any good. She'd probably think it was a pickup line. Well, I should be going.
あ、
I started to turn away when a strange noise rumbled from the pit to my stomach.
あら？
What? I could feel my ears burning in embarrassment. My laugh didn't seem malicious, so I actually welcomed it. I felt relieved and turned back with a wry smile on my lips. I'm on a bit of a diet right now.
ダイエット？男の人でもそういうことするのかしら？
Oh, that's not sexist. I didn't know men went on diets. Oh, well, I think they do. You know, fat people and such. I like this.
なるほど。肥満は男性女性関係ないわよね。
I
で
see.
もあなたは
I see. Obesity plagues us regardless of sex, after all, but you... She took a moment to inspect me from head to toe.
ダイエットなんかする必要はないと思うけれど。
You don't look like someone who needs to be on a diet. That's true.
それにほら話している間にもお腹がギュウギュウなっているじゃないの。やりすぎは良くないんじゃなくて？
Besides, your stomach has been growling this whole time. You mustn't starve yourself like that. Right.
そうだ。
I know. She smiled suddenly as if she came up with a good idea.
私も夕飯はまだなの。よかったらご一緒しましょうよ。
I haven't had dinner yet either. Why don't you join me? What?
あとちょっとお話ししたいこともあるし、いかがかしら？
I'm thinking of turning off the voices, but I don't know. There's something I'd like to speak with you about as well. Would you mind? She's trying to pick me up? That couldn't be it. She didn't seem the type to pick brand new men. But the reverse was surely common.
さあ行きましょうよ。
Come on, let's go. The girl began walking promptly. I spoke up self-consciously. The girl turned back an anxious expression on her face.
ダメかしら？この後何か用事でも？
You don't want to? Did you have other plans? She wanted a corset? No, it isn't like that. I don't have any money.
何？
What was that? I had spoken so softly she didn't hear me. I spoke again louder this time. I don't have any money. I haven't got paid for my job yet.
ああ、そういうこと。
Oh, I see. She gave me the same smile, same easy smile as before.
もちろん私が出させていただくわ。
Oh,
さっきのお礼に。
I'll pay, of course. It's the least I can do. Are you sure, really?
ええ、今のお話を伺う前から私はそのつもりでいてよ。だって
Yes, I planned to do so even before you said that, after all.
私本当に感謝したんですもの。
I really am grateful to you.
あの辺り仕事帰りなのか結構人の通りは多かったわ。けれど通る人みんな知らんぷりばかり。
Many people coming home from work passed us by, and they acted like they didn't even see us.
それは揉め事に巻き込まれたくないって気持ちは私にも想像はつきます。
I can understand not wanting to get dragged into a fight when they're busy.
けれど私は助けを求めていて、なのにみんな見えないふり聞こえないふりばっかりだった。
But I was hoping someone would help me, and every single person just looked the other way.
それはやっぱり私にとっては残念なことで。
I thought that I was doomed.
けれどあなたは来てくれた。向こうは4人もいたというのにたった1人で。
But then you came along, even though you were just one man standing against four. You intervened on my
あなたが
behalf.
助けに入ってく
That
れ
made
て
me so happy.
私は本当に嬉しかったの。
Let's try this.
いくら感謝してもしたりないという気持ち、私はあなたの勇気を尊いものだと思います。
Hey, these are all the characters, apparently. Okay, let's try this now. Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta turn the other sound back. There we go. Okay, right. Oh. I never received just a straight, honest compliment. I felt a tightness in my chest and an inexplicable heat feeling in my cheeks. At the same time, her cheeks turned red and she slumped over a little. Maybe she was the bashful type too. Well, let's go. There's a restaurant I always visit when I'm in this part of town. I'll show you the way. Sure. Alrighty, and with this first introduction, I think I'm going to cut the video here, and we will continue on in part 2.